Welcome to the Elite Life Podcast with your hosts, Trisha and Kylee. Here, we guide you on a journey of personal and professional transformation, revealing the secrets to success. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we unlock the doors to the elite world of growth, grit, and grace. So, let's dive in.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of the Elite Life Podcast. My name's Trish.
I'm Kylee.
And we're so glad you're here with us.
Yes, we are. Today we're diving into a deeply personal and powerful topic, how to navigate loss, devastation, and betrayal. Because let's be real, life throws us curveballs all the time, and some of those really knock you in your chest, knock you down, and take all of your wind out. But the good news is you can rebuild, you can find strength, and you can come out of the storm. I feel like I'm not being very serious for such a serious topic. You can come out ahead, okay, y'all? So just hang in there and stick with us.
Yeah, we're going to share some practical, real-life strategies to help you process pain and reclaim your power, because humans be humaning, and, you know.
The devil be devilin'. So start us off with tip number one, because you do this a lot more than I do.
Yeah, the first one is journaling, writing your way to healing. So I always wanted to be that person that was journaling because I like to write, but I could never really get in the flow. And recently I finally clicked. So I would just encourage you, if you've kind of picked up and put down journaling a few times, keep trying. Keep trying.
Keep on keeping on.
It is very therapeutic, and I did it by putting it on my bat doc, and at first I was just going to be writing my goals, but writing my goals turned into journaling, and that also can be coupled with manifesting. So you may be writing your goals, or that may actually turn into manifesting or journaling or processing through pain, we're talking about.
We had I had someone who, thank God, is no longer in my life, but when he was cut out, there was a lot of pain. There was a lot of anger, and I had a lot that I wanted to say, but God was like, listen, honey, I closed this door. So if you want to open that door to scream out at this person, that person could possibly come back in, yada, yada. So I had a lot inside of me of what I wanted to say to this person. So I started a therapy journal, and Ryan and I shared it. And I just wrote down all the things that I would say to him if I ever saw him, or, he decided to pop up again. Sometimes that's all you need to do. And once I got all of that out of my head and out of my heart, it was so much easier to move on. So even if it's not something you do consistently, if you are dealing with a specific situation, I highly encourage you to just grab a notebook, grab some paper. It usually helps a lot better when you're handwriting something versus typing it out, because it takes a lot more time and you have the ability to think a lot more. And then you can reread it back to yourself, and then if it's something that you want out of your life, you could always symbolically just say, okay, I wrote this letter to this person who really hurt me. I let them know how they hurt me. I'm crumbling it up and I'm throwing it in a fire, and I'm done and I'm moving on. And that could be it might sound silly, but that can be a very symbolic, very therapeutic thing to do.
Yeah, I actually did this with one of my coaching clients. I had her write letters to all the people that she needed to get out those suppressed feelings without judgment. And she wrote out the letter, and then she set them on fire. And she was like, this is great.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need to do something about it. So the next thing you can do is changing your appearance. This is also very symbolic, and it provides you with a great fresh start.
It does. I did this recently. So
here we are.
If you're watching on the YouTube, you may notice that my hair is no longer blonde. It is now back to my natural color, which was kind of staggering at first, but now I'm actually kind of starting to love it.
My favorite part was when you were texting with me and you were like, I did a thing. And before you even sent me a picture, I was like, you dyed your hair black, didn't you?
And I didn't even actually like plan for it to be this bold. But when I told my hair girl, I was like, oh, I kind of want to like go to this color. And then she just did this thing. And I was like, oh, okay. So this is what we're doing. But
it's great. It is so therapeutic. I've done this quite a few times in my life. I did it after a breakup where the guy I broke up with hated short hair. So I just chopped it to my chin. And then I did it again after having Everett. I was like, okay, done having babies. I need to reclaim my identity as not just like a baby maker, a milk producer. I needed to be me again. And so I dyed my hair like purple red. We won't be doing that again. But it really just gives you a fresh opportunity to express yourself and feel like you're able to start over.
Yeah. And it could be hair, like we talked about. It could be revamping your wardrobe. It could be a meaningful tattoo. One of my clients I seen, her and her significant other split up, and she's like 2 tattoos this week. So everybody has different things, but the changes remind you that transformation is possible, and it gives you that fresh start. Like, okay, now I'm ready to go do the things.
Yeah, it'll help you, regain confidence and control. In times of uncertainty or like emotional struggle, making this deliberate change in your look can provide you with a sense of agency over your life. Because a lot of times when these things happen, a lot of times they're due to other people's behavior or just things that happen in life that we had no control over whatsoever. And so this process will help you regain a little bit of that feeling of control.
Yeah, and it can boost your self-esteem too. You look good, feel good, play good, I always say. So if you're getting your hair all freshened up, you're getting a nice new outfit, you're going to be feeling yourself. And that's going to help you to just go out in the world with some renewed confidence.
Absolutely. So let's talk about really quickly before we move on, some things that you should not do when you are changing your appearance, because I feel like, especially with this topic, most of the time when you're going through things like this, you be emotional. Okay. And emotions are not always logical. They are very rash. So what you don't want to do is make an impulsive decision that you might regret. Like a tattoo. They're not for everybody, but the last thing you want to do is put like F Sarah like on your body.
Don't put a dinosaur on your face.
No, take time to reflect before you commit. And avoid changing for external validation. If you're going to change something, do it for you. Do it to make yourself feel better. Give yourself that confidence. Don't change because your boyfriend broke up with you and he got with a blonde girl, and so now you're dyeing your hair blonde when you have red hair. Don't do that. You're pretty. Just embrace it. Move on.
Yeah, and be mindful of like your financial situation too. Don't go out and buy a whole new wardrobe if you don't have any money.
Yeah, don't go bleach blonde if you don't have the money either. Like, can we just say that out loud? And then, don't compare your transformation to others. Like I was just saying, if you are choosing to do something like get on a health journey. Like if you're looking at yourself, if you had something happen and you're like, you know what, I need to do something with my body. I need to make myself feel good. And the way that that's going to happen is by going to the gym and eating healthy. Like don't compare your health transformation to someone else's, because everybody's different. So whether you're doing it, health, hair, whatever it is, let it be for you. Let it be good for you.
Yeah, the best transformations start from within, as they say.
Absolutely. So then we are talking about movement and physical activity. Trisha's talked about this quite a bit because she is the movement guru over here. Yeah. I move my mouth. She moves her body.
For running or lifting, like I have worked through some major grief and loss through running and lifting, or even like when Dave was in the ICU after he had his stroke, I was on my Peloton crying, but being able to have that physical release of tears and sweat and just moving through it in a more healthy way, like you're going to feel so much better if you're crying and running than if you're crying and drinking and then hungover the next day, right?
Ooh, yeah.
So like making sure
like
you're
that.
choosing positive ways to move through this pain, and movement and physical activity is one of the most effective ways to combat stress and anxiety and sadness.
That's science, by the way.
It is. It's science. We know I like the science.
We do like the science. So there are a lot of great ways that you can move your body. It doesn't have to be a half marathon. If you're someone like me, it doesn't even have to be anything out of your comfort zone. You could do yoga for grinding, for grounding and mindfulness. You can do strength training to channel your anger or your frustration. You can go walking or running, like Trisha just said, to clear your mind. When I go on a walk, especially outside alone, like without any stimulation, I don't have earbuds, I don't have audiobooks, I notice that my brain does decompress, and it gives me an opportunity to sort out those feelings or those thoughts. And I always feel much better when I'm done. And sometimes the movement I choose is just cleaning my house. I'm telling you, sometimes I am just so, in a space of, being mentally curmudgeoned that I'm like, okay, one thing that will make me feel better is not having all this clutter, or making sure that, when I do sit down later to do whatever it is, I'm in a space that is clean and tidy. So it doesn't have to look a specific way. Just pick something to move your body to. Dance it out. You could dance.
You could dance it out.
Put on some Taylor Swift and just dance it out.
Yeah.
Shake it off.
And speaking of cleaning it out, the next one is reevaluating your circle. Consider a social detox. Is it the people that are around you that you need to reassess? If you've experienced betrayal, loss, major life changes, take that step back, reassess the people in your life. Relationships should bring you support, encouragement, and mutual respect.
Mutual respect.
Yeah. Mutual respect.
That's what it is.
Not stress, not self-doubt, and not toxicity. So a social detox isn't about isolation. It's about making space for healthier, more uplifting connections.
Do you want to say it again for the people in the back?
Rebecca said, sometimes the trash takes itself out.
Preach, Rebecca. Princess Lots of Hair for the win, for sure.
I felt that in my soul.
Like in your soul.
Yeah.
I love that. And it's true. It is true. So here are some signs that it's time for a social detox, okay? Certain relationships bring more pain than peace. If interactions leave you feeling drained, anxious, or undervalued, it may be time to distance yourself. And if you find someone texting you or messaging you and you are really avoiding or really not looking forward to interacting with them, it might be time to just take a step back from that relationship and just be like, okay, this is not where I want to be. This is not, I don't enjoy spending time with this person. So I'm just going to back off a little bit. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. And the thing is if you feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time, you have to censor yourself, you suppress your emotions, you're constantly worried about how they're going to react, that relationship is toxic. And listen to your gut and end it sooner than later. The longer that you deal with that person, right? We're back to the beginning. You get what you negotiate.
You do get what you negotiate.
So if you allow that person to constantly be draining you and you're like, oh my gosh, is she going to do it again? Is she going to do it again? What is she going to think about this? She's going to throw a big fat fit. Just cut them out.
Another way to put it I've heard is you teach people how to treat you. So for example, if someone's going up one side of you, down the other, and then you turn around and you're doing something for them, they know that they can walk all over you like a doormat and you're still going to show up with, food or drinks or be there when they need you. And that's the other thing. If people are only reaching out to you when they need something, that's a one-way street. That's not a relationship. That's not mutual respect. That is poopy.
Yeah. So steps to a healthy social detox: assess your inner circle. Ask yourself, does this person bring me positivity or negativity? Do I feel safe and supported around them? Am I valued around them? If not, mute them, block them, say bye, Felicia. Stop answering when they text and call.
And let's talk about social media really quickly, because everybody's on social media, some form of it or another. And that is where people start, I've noticed, to feel real bold. They feel real bold about saying things and turn themselves into keyboard warriors. Oh, okay. I'm teaching my daughter, never say anything about anyone that you wouldn't say to their face. Because she's in this space where her little girlfriends are getting catty and things like that. And I'm trying to teach her that, you want to be a good friend and you want to be a person. You don't want to be one of these toxic people. And so on social media, make sure that if someone is posting, and there are people who post stuff that is super toxic, have nothing to do with me. I've met them. Never. We're friends on social media. But like every time I see Jenny's post or Ashley's post, it's about how much she hates her baby daddy or how badly work sucks or poor me or this and that. And there have been times where I've reached out to these people that I don't even know, and I've given them an encouraging word and maybe tried to advise them on maybe how they could pull themselves out of this rut. And they're not hearing it. They're professional victims. And so I've unfriended them, or I have muted them on Facebook so that I don't have to see that. Because the other thing is being on social media by itself, it is draining. And it can be very toxic and gross.
Yeah. I'm quick with the block button now. I used to really overthink it, and I used to feel like, well, if I block them, then they're going to, who cares, dude? Just block them. Just block them. And if you don't need that in your life, protect your peace. And I had this conversation because I blocked 2 people that were in my family, and I forget who I was talking to, and they're like, well, like, how's that going to be? Like, because Nikki's having a baby shower now, and I'll see them there. And I'm like, it's not that I don't still love those people. I just don't want them on my Facebook because they get drunk and they say stupid things. So I am protecting my peace. It doesn't mean that they're not still my family member or that I hate them. I'll still be nice to them in real life. You're still my family. I don't want you on my Facebook page because once a month I shouldn't have to feel bad because you had too much wine and you made some passive aggressive crappy comment, right? Mm-hmm. Or if you are no longer going to be a part of my life, I'm not going to go check your Facebook. I don't care.
Right.
And I find it really funny when somebody like unfriends you instead of blocking you. If you don't want to see my stuff anymore, you'd block me. If you just unfriended me, that means you just want to stalk my Facebook page. That's fine. That's fine.
Don't mind me just watching.
Right. Right.
So, some tips to set some good boundaries, okay? You want to surround yourself with positive influences. Seek out friends and mentors and communities that uplift you and align with your values and contribute to your personal growth and well-being. I have done this. I sat down the other day and I was looking through because memories pop up of me and friends with this and that. And I look back and I'm like, okay, this is good. I feel great about the people that I'm aligning myself with. Yeah. You, Riley, Bevan, Amanda. These are all people who bring joy to my life and who are supporting me no matter what. Especially Amanda, your girl has seen me going through it and she's still there. She's always there. So as you're assessing your community, you want to make sure that you're aligning yourself with people who are going to be positive.
Yeah. And I think that that's why I block people, because it's like, you'll get whatever you go looking for. So True. If you go back to that person's page because you want to see if they wrote something negative about you, you better believe you're going to find it. And I remind myself of that all the time in so many different scenarios in life, right? Like if you go looking for it, you're going to find it. Whether it's you're going to look for bad stuff in your kid's bedroom or you're going to go you will find what you're going to look for. So start looking for positive things, like you're saying. Go look for those positive, uplifting things. Start sharing those positive, uplifting things. Start having those good conversations. Stop talking about your ex. they're gone. They're your ex. If you keep talking about them, you're going to keep reliving those things. And that's like
science. Here she comes with the science. I saw her science face.
Come into the science of it, though. When you keep retelling that sad story or that bad story, what you're doing is you're putting your central nervous system back through those feelings. And that's why it takes you so long to get out of the trough of sorrow. Because when I tell you the story, and then I tell Andy the story, and then I tell Dave the story, and then I tell Trent the story, and then I tell whoever the story, every time I tell that story, I'm putting my body through those emotions. And so you'll notice, like, on the last bad thing that happened, I literally was like, we can talk about anything except that thing that just happened, because those people don't deserve our time, energy, or emotions anymore. They're done.
Moving on.
Cutting it off.
Moving on. So here's some things that you do not want to do if you are doing a social detox. You should not feel guilty for prioritizing your well-being, like Trisha just said. When you block someone or you take someone out of your life or you cut them out, don't feel bad about it. They're probably going to try and make you feel bad about it, but you have to understand they're coming from a place of victimhood and really not respecting you at all. And you want to just take the piece of not everyone is going to understand. Not everyone's going to understand that you're taking a step back. Not everyone's going to understand that you've decided to, instead of, going out to the bar with your friends and going to the club, you're now pouring all of your energy into your business or your family or your dreams. So not everyone is going to understand what you're doing. Just feel confident and keep going, knowing that you're doing a good thing for you. And at the end, at the finish line, it is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and avoid drama and retaliation.
Ooh.
This can be tough because you feel like they should get what they deserve. Some people, you may feel like they should get what they deserve.
Yeah.
But here's what do I always say? You know what the best revenge is? Success. That's the best revenge.
I love those videos. Have you seen those videos on Facebook or these little posts on Facebook? It's like, can you imagine you over there talking crap about me and I'm just over here praying for you, or I'm just over here living my best life, blah, blah, blah. Like, just move on and just understand that the best revenge is going to be you not giving a flip-flop about that person anymore, because they want your time and they want your energy and you're not giving it to them. So you're not giving the people what they want. And that's a good thing this time.
Also, when you do that, it makes you look crazy and it makes you look toxic. So if you're on your Facebook saying blah, 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 now you're the one that looks silly.
And we are going to move on to getting into a new routine and taking some new adventures, reclaiming your life.
I like that. Reclaim your life. So sometimes when we go through something, it helps to just get away from that environment. I'm not suggesting that you run away from your problems.
She's only suggesting that you jump out of a plane. That's all she's saying.
My friend Nicole, she was going to Miami when that last whole situation went down. And she's like, well, do you want to come to Miami with me? And I'm like, as much as I would love to jump on a plane and come to Miami with you, that would be the worst possible thing for me to do right now. Because you can run from your problems, but they're just going to be there when you get back. And they're probably going to be bigger. It is much better to just hit them head on and start moving past all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can do something like start a new hobby or a new project that'll keep your hands and your mind busy. You can travel to a new place. Just make sure that you're going there with the mentality of, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to reset, I'm going to refresh, and then I'm going to come back. Because like Trisha just said, you can't run away from it. They're just going to be there when you get home. Or create a new routine that sets you up for positivity. Create a morning routine where you get up and you do the journaling, or maybe you do the body movement in the morning. Just create something new that's going to be just for you, that's going to help you move past everything.
Yeah, and that brings us to gratitude and perspective. And that's part of my morning routine is like before I get out of bed, like I was doing this morning, I am literally like repeating all of the things that I am grateful for, because it is such a game changer and it just starts your day off on such a better foot. Because again, the science, when you wake up, you have all these chemicals sitting on your brain from when you were sleeping, that's cortisol. and that's the stress hormone. So you may realize, or you may notice that when you wake up in the morning, your mind is automatically going to like bad things. And you're like, why is that how that is? And it's because that cortisol is sitting on your brain.
Science.
So the best way to counter that is to start naming all the things that you're grateful for. And you can start small. Like, I'm grateful for this really comfortable comforter and my really cushy pillows and my puppy that is laying next to me and the home that I am in. And then it just grows. Like, as you start listing them off, they get bigger and better and bigger and better. And you're like, oh my gosh, I have all these great things in my life.
Yeah. How about I'm grateful for sight in my eyes and sound in my ears and movement in my body and air in my lungs. I usually try to start my morning by thanking God for those things, because those are things, as you and I know, that people take for granted, and they can be taken like that. So make sure that you are coming out of these toxic situations. Make sure that you are moving past the betrayal and the loss, and you're setting yourself up for success, for health, and for growth.
I love that. And remember too that like these moments and these times, they help you build resilience. And resilience is a really, really important characteristic. I think in life, it's one of the most important characteristics. And a lot of these things are temporary. Like Mel Robbins was saying the other day, do you know what an emotion is? An emotion is a 3-second burst of chemicals.
In your brain.
3 seconds. Burst of chemicals. But all the drama comes from what we do after that. We want to send this text, or we want to write this note, or we want to yell at this person, or blah, blah, blah. So it's not about the emotion itself. It's about what we do with that. So if we can start to flip our perspective and understand, like, this thing is not even that big. Like, when the last thing that was happening to us happened, I like looked at Dave and I'm like, the funny thing is, this is not even close to the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
Right.
Not even close. Not even in the ballpark. It's devastating, and it's still not even close to
right. Like, we've been in hospitals, we've been through brain surgeries and all of these things. So I hope that you all took 1 or 72 things from this episode this week. We really enjoyed bringing this to you. Make sure before you go, you hit the sub button, share with a friend, and come back next week, because we drop fresh content every Thursday here on The Elite Life.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on the Elite Life Podcast with Trish and Kylee. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend so we can keep delivering you more fantastic insights on grit, grace, and growth. Stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook, where we'll keep the ideas flowing to help you build a life you love and leave a legacy you can be proud of. Until next time.